that is the records from the stores, and that's why we have invited you. So please, can you speak on that? We request that you go straight on how you got the iron seeds, how you have used them. If there is any other information surrounding the iron seeds you got in January this year, you let us know. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair and honorable members. I'm called retired Major Fred Buino Chakulanda. I'm the Member of Parliament for Chiburu North, Niganga District, and I'm the Minister of State for Agriculture in the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries. Yes, it is true, I received 300 iron sheets. I received them on the 3rd of February this year. And this receipt is documented on a delivery note. On a delivery note number 8528. And receiving this was preceded by a communication from somebody called Abaho Joshua, who rang my assistant on the 2nd. And he also sent a WhatsApp message to my assistant called Vyakatonda Victor. And the message, the WhatsApp message Vyakatonda Victor received was sent to me later. And it said, "Good afternoon, brother. This is Joshua Abaho Karamoja." Then the other one said, "Yes, my brother, how are you?" Then he responded and said, "The iron sheets of the minister are ready." Then the other one said, "Oh, thank you. When can we pick them?" He said, "Please guide." And after that, he sent the contact of a person called Stephen of Stores. And that is how I sent a driver to the stores. However, prior to that, the Chief Administrative Officer of my district had written a letter to the PS Office of the Prime Minister. This was on the 4th of August of 2002. And in that letter, August 4th, 2022, last year. And in that letter, the Chief Administrative Officer brought to the attention of the PS Office of the Prime Minister a number of schools whose roofs had been blown off. And these were Nakalama Secondary School, Woromera Primary School, Muira Primary School, Kavira Primary School, Navikote Primary School, and Kabuko Primary School. I have a copy of the letter. I will lay it on the table. And this letter was copied to me. In the same letter, the Chief Administrative Officer alluded to another letter written on 22nd February 2022, also reporting other schools whose roofs had been blown off. There are 9 of them, and they are recorded here in the letter. Now, when I received a copy of this letter from the Chief Administrative Officer, I got concerned because one particular school in my constituency called Nasuti Primary School, whose roof had been blown off in 1997 and had remained roofless for more than 20 years, was left out of this list. And besides that, 15 people in my constituency who had been affected by a storm were not mentioned in the letter. So, as I was preparing to petition the omission, I had a joint activity with the Minister of Karamoja. I was handing over seeds for early maturing crops to Karamoja. The event happened on 24th September 2022 in Namamve. 24th September 2022 in Namamve at a supplier's store. The supplier is called Equator Seeds. So I invited the ministers for Karamoja for that function. So, because I was having a challenge of the other school and the 15 people, I somehow whispered to my colleague that I have a challenge. We wrote to the office of the Prime Minister, but there were some omissions. Then she quickly said, no, don't mind. Send your PA to my PA. We shall address that omission. So I accordingly sent my PA to her PA. And when I sent my PA wrote a letter which was alluding to my discussion with the minister and the plight of the people that I've already talked about. And he concluded by saying, I'm here, I have been directed to convey request for 300 earned sheets for onward submission to the minister. Now, this letter went to the PA of the minister. This was on 26th of October last year. And it was received officially. Now, after that, later on 24th November, on the 24th November 2022, the Chief Administrative Officer rings me and tells me that he received iron sheets. Then I asked him who are the beneficiaries. Then he sent me a delivery note. I have it here, and I'm going to lay it on the table. It shows that 3 schools had benefited with 116 earned sheets each. And these are Nakalama Secondary School, Buolomera Primary School, and Muira Primary School. Of these, one of them was in my constituency. But the other one, which had been omitted, was not included. So I gave up. I said, maybe my appeal was not considered. And I just kept quiet about it. I even didn't go back to anybody. However, on the 2nd of February, now my assistant receives that call, and later wrote me a WhatsApp message from the PA to the minister for Karamoja. So the earned sheets were received by a driver that was sent driver from my office, because I was not in the country then. I had traveled to Brazil for official duties. I had actually traveled with the assistant who had contacted the other PA. So it is that assistant who arranged with a driver to pick the other sheets. So the driver picked them and took them to my home here on Gaza Road. When I sorry, the 300.
The 300.
Yes.
The other one that were delivered to the school to the car.
No, the others of the car were of last year November.
There were how many?
There were 106 times 3.
That is 348.
348.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, when the 300 came, they were delivered to my home because I was away. When I returned on the 20th of February, I instructed that they should be delivered to the beneficiaries. And they were delivered to the beneficiaries. I designed a form on which the beneficiaries signed. And I'm going to tender this form on the table. However, I want to clarify on this form that the beneficiary number 5 on this form, who is called Yekukuwina, was not given because when they arrived at his premises, my people arrived there, they found that the damage was really minimal. And then there was another neighbor whose house was totally damaged. So they instead gave to another person called Mugabe, who signed on the same form. Now, the individuals each received 8 sheets, and they signed for them. The villages where they come from is recorded on this form. The parish is recorded. The sub-county is recorded. Their telephone contacts are recorded. And on top of that, the other school whose roof had been blown off in 1997, called the Nasut Primary School, received 180 sheets. The headmaster signed on the same form, but also wrote an acknowledgement, which I'm also tendering, laying on the table. Besides that, I received a letter on the 22nd, 2 days after I had delivered the sheets to the beneficiaries, from the PS, Office of the Prime Minister, asking for accountability. And he concluded by saying, accordingly, in order to be able to present a proper and complete account of the items, this is to kindly request you to provide the details and evidence of the acknowledgement by the beneficiary households, store communities for the sheets that were allocated to your area. It would serve us better to receive this information by 28th. And I accordingly provided the accountability, and I wrote a letter, and I attached the list that I've already alluded to. And the letter which I wrote is also here, and I'm tabling it. Finally, on 10th of this month, the Chief Administrative Officer received a letter, and I got a copy of the same letter, indicating to us that the Office of the Prime Minister had sent us more sheets, 800 of them. It was on 10th of March of this year. And they guided us that the district has been allocated 800 sheets to benefit the following categories. 1, community or public schools infrastructure. 2, community health centers. 3, community-based structures adding value to socio-economic transformation. Then in the letter they said, you are required to work in close liaison with your area members of parliament, LC5 chairperson, and LC3 chairperson in identifying beneficiaries. We have since sat as a team and identified beneficiaries for the 800 sheets, and a letter has been written to that effect, indicating that we have identified 10 schools, namely Nawanzu Primary School, 8 sheets. Walugogo Primary School, 8 sheets. Nawankonge Primary School, 8 sheets. Nakalama Primary School, 8 sheets. Nachigo Primary School, 8. And in my constituency, Namabel Primary School, 8. Buwerembe Primary School, 8 sheets. Chiguru College Secondary School, 8 sheets. Simanda Primary School, 8 sheets. And St. Paul Nasut Secondary School, 8 sheets. Finally, I want just for emphasis to state that none of the sheets received went to my personal use. All of them were delivered to the intended beneficiaries, and is evidence of delivery and their contacts for the beneficiaries. They can be contacted for verification. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Honourable Minister, for the submission. Colleagues, you have listened to the submission. Now it's time to discuss the submission. The floor is open. Honourable Minister, you have made a presentation. Can we categorize it into 2? That one, you made a request to Office of the Prime Minister, and the items in relation to that were delivered on 10th March 2023, because we have also the Ministry for Disaster, apart from the special regions that give out iron seats, because at the end you talked of the 800 iron seats. And 2, you also said you whispered to the Minister of Karamoja to come to the plea. Can we put that as a request that you made to support the people?
Yes, Chair, I said that my discussion with the minister was to tell her about a school that missed on a request by the Chief Administrative Officer to Office of the Prime Minister. That's what I told her. I told her that my Chief Administrative Officer sent a request to OPM for assistance for schools that suffered it.
Sent to Karamoja, because the one for general management, which falls under disaster, is different from those ones of the affirmative action programs.
That is true. Chair, let me clarify that.
Okay.
I talked to the minister not to request for Karamoja iron sheets,
Okay.
but to request her as one of the ministers in the Office of the Prime Minister to help me. So that other school can be added on our earlier request. Yeah. And she said, no, send your PA to my PA. And that's what I did. I didn't know that, I didn't know about the internal processes. I didn't know about the internal processes. And me, all I know is that later on, a call came through. And I didn't pursue it further than that. Yes.
Members, the floor is open. Honorable Benjamin, then now court.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, for this opportunity, and thank you, Honorable Minister, for the submission. My only worry is one, that when there is a disaster in a district, it is the court request. In the first place, he did well to request for iron sheets for other schools. Wouldn't it be better for you if you had written back to the cow to say, please, can you also request for this secondary school, so that he can go through the normal channels of requesting for these iron sheets if the school was destroyed by wind. The other thing is, Honorable Minister, you know very well that the Minister for Karamoja Affairs is for Karamoja. Why didn't you ask from the Disaster Minister, your colleague, and you table this request to him, other than putting the Minister of Karamoja into problems, because she had no option. She had to serve a fellow colleague.
Time available now. Honorable Court.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I thank the Minister for it. Mine is purely clarification. Could you let us know the letter written by the cow, you said in August last year, was the school that got omitted even in the letter, or was only omitted in the delivery? Number two, you did mention also that on the 10th, the cow received a letter, which letter indicated that the district has been allocated 800 iron sheets. Did that originated from a letter also written by the cow, or this was just allocated without any request from the cow? Lastly, when you whispered to the minister and later on your PA received a communication that 300 iron sheets have been allocated, in your whisper to the minister, had you indicated the rough amount of the quantities you needed, or you just said there was one school that got omitted? Thank you.
Thank you. What I request, but Office of the Prime Minister has been guiding Parliament that the information given by the cow in terms of the detailed effects of disasters is paramount. So we can write, but you have to make reference to the information given by the cow. So you can have a cover letter written, so long as you have the statistics provided by the district. Thank you.
Chair, I also want to thank the Minister for the presentation. And I have a clarification that's required from the Minister. earlier on, the minister mentions that the PA received a call from the gentleman called Abayo to go and receive the iron seats that was allocated to him by the minister of Karamoja. And then two, he also says that last year he was able to invite the minister for Karamoja when he was handing over the seats. And he whispered to the minister on the concerns and the challenges in his constituency. And then later on again, the PS wrote a letter telling him to give an accountability of the iron seat that was given. And Chair, I was also wondering why the PS wrote for him a letter to give accountability, and yet the iron seat was given by the minister of Karamoja. If any accountability to be given is supposed to be given to the minister of Karamoja, but not the PS. What's happened? And then he also mentioned that 800 iron seats was given from the office of the OPM to the district. In his statement, he says the letter that was written to the cow was that the iron seat was supposed to be given to the vulnerable. They are supposed to identify the beneficiaries. And I saw this seem to be very, very unique. I don't know under circumstances where iron seat is just sent to the district when the beneficiary has not yet been identified. Can you clarify something on that? Thank you.
Thank you. Then Albert.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, for availing me this opportunity. I want to salute Honorable Minister for the elaborate presentation he has done to us here. I only want him to clarify on one thing. He has submitted to us that it was the office of the cow who requested for the iron seats after the disaster occurring in his district. I also want to know one thing. After the delivery of the iron seats, was it the office of the cow who was responsible in order to give out those iron seats, or it was now given out to those beneficiaries by his PA and other people involved? Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Albert.
Teacher, apologies for coming a little late. I'm called by name is Lokoro Albert Tekorita. I'm a member of parliament representing Tepet County in Morto District. Madam Chair, I want to thank the Minister for his clear and elaborate presentation on the issue of the iron sheets. My interest is on the 300 iron sheets. The iron sheets we got from the general management. Maybe that's the right procedure of how you request to help the people. Now, from the look of things, the Honorable Minister, it appears you are given a date. The allocation of the 300 was wrongly allocated to you because it was meant to benefit the vulnerable Karachunas, people of Karamoja. Now, in your position as a minister, having consented that the PA, your PA, picked the iron sheets not to be for Karamoja, what is your take now as a minister? Thank you very much.
Is for having come in late. I have lost one of my coordinators in the constituency, and it's the reason I'm dressed like coming on getting to know that there are ministers before us. because there is some bit of clarification. On media, my name together with our other colleagues from the Bunyoro Affairs have been attached that we are also part of the beneficiaries who got iron sheets that were meant for Karamoja. But from my own understanding and the understanding of a few of my colleagues, we know that we have a docket under Bunyoro Affairs Ministry, affirmative action, and we requested for iron sheets. Personally, I did request for iron sheets for some of my schools, but on top of that, there was another arrangement of, under affirmative action for the vulnerable groups. And we got it in writing clearly in our pigeonholes that each of us had been awarded 100 pieces of iron sheets. And we got them and supplied them. Actually, we were blessed that the Minister for Bunyoro Affairs came and handed over these iron sheets to the beneficiaries directly at the district headquarters. Now, my inquiry is, our minister is here. I just wanted to know whether the iron sheets the MPs of Bunyoro got were meant for Karamoja. Is some kind of clarification that I would like to know. Thank you so much. Shortly after this, Honorable Chair, I would request to leave the meeting going on, as I have to go to the constituency so that I can be part of the burial. Thank you so much, Honorable Chair. And thank you.
Thank you. The Honourable Minister will clarify on that before he leaves. Then,
Honorable Chair, Honorable colleagues, and the technical people, Namuyangu Kacha Jennifer is my name, Minister of State for Bunyoro Affairs. Honorable colleagues, all the affirmative ministries in Bunyoro, that is Bunyoro Affairs, Tesa Affairs, Ruwero Rwenzori, and under Ruwero Rwenzori there is even a docket for Busoga, Karamoja, Teso, Northern Uganda, have a budget that procures iron sheets. And these iron sheets are the same because under the guidance of the Prime Minister, we decided that we buy unique iron sheets. They call them Sand Beach, gauge 28, from two companies, that is Roofings and MM. And incidentally, we have one store in Namamve, just like this room. Even Ministry for Disaster Preparedness also procures iron sheets, and they are all put in the same store. So the Bunyoro MPs got iron sheets from Ministry of Bunyoro Affairs. And I did write to them, requesting them to identify beneficiaries, even telling them how many pieces are allocated in each constituency. And they responded by identifying those beneficiaries, after which we sent them to the stores to pick. But surprisingly, they are being summoned by all investigative arms. IGG has summoned them, CID has summoned them, the committee I think is also summoning them. It's really very, very unfortunate. All those MPs, including the ministers, the Prime Minister, I gave them iron sheets. And also gave some iron sheets through the chairperson 0C5. But our procedure is that you identify the beneficiaries, you submit the list, so that it is easy for us to do monitoring. So, Chair, that's what I want to clarify. These iron sheets were not for Karamoja, they were for Bunyoro.
so
That was in 2022, starting from March.
Thank you. I think members, as a committee, let's be consistent with our investigation. We have documents detailing the request made by the Honorable Minister for the distribution of the iron seats belonging to Ministry of Karamoja. We also have documents reflecting out of the request how many people received. So we have narrowed to the list of those who received. And we have it. By the way, even my name is there on the request of the Honorable Minister, just at the tail end. We looked at that, but even the petitioners are also in that list of the Honorable Minister. We have that document with us. But we have narrowed down on those who received. Your name can be there, but what if the PA did not call you and the stewards did not have any information that you received iron seats? So the ones we have invited are the ones we have gotten a proof that they received the iron seats. And we wanted the Honorable Minister to be here. And we are taking this seriously. We gave her 2 invites. She has turned them down, including, yes, yeah. Yeah.
Even it takes in Stephen and others. We are talking of those who received, but specifically, iron sheets which were made for Karamoja for that 39 billion. It is the only one.
No, we have 2 versions. We have 2 versions. For example, the Honorable Minister we are meeting, the 300 he received is for the supplementary budget, which started to be received from January onwards this year. But we have a category, for example, where Honorable Nyakun and Jennifer, where they fall. It is for last year, and it is not from the supplementary budget. But we have records from the stores. So for us, we are only dealing with the issues of iron seats belonging to Ministry of Karamoja, whether it is from the regular budget or from the supplementary budget, which was approved. We are not going to invite people who did not receive iron seats from Karamoja based on the available documents that we have. So media can provide information, other investigations can be done, but we are not going to sabotage or make any statement about other investigations. Investigations are good. You can be called to provide information. It does not mean that you are guilty. It does not. If they invite you, please attend to them and avail the information. But for us, we believe we are in the rightful track. Honourable Ministers who are here, please, we got your details from the ministers' list up to the store where you receive the iron seats from, either through your PAs or through other means. So I think that is what we can provide. Now, let's have the Deputy Chair, and we allow him to respond so that we also
Grateful to Honorable Wino for your well-elaborated explanation. I only want to ask that when you learned about this saga, because we all got like shocked when we saw what was happening in the media, did you try to ask your colleague that did you give me iron sheets which belong to Karamoja? How did you try to at least interact with her to know exactly what she gave you. Because I think it would be a concern for a colleague to just give what was not supposed to. What for you? How did you even feel about the scene you had it? You
Okay. Have the Honourable Minister.
Thank you very much, Honourable Chair and Honourable members. It's only becoming clear from this interaction that the ansheets I received were for Karamoja. I didn't know it, to be very, very sincere. I did not know it because of how it was handled. My discussion with the minister, I did not request for her to give me any sheets from her ministry. I did not. I only thought that she would help me to amplify my appeal. It was like an appeal. So, to answer the Deputy Chairperson's question, I've not interacted with the Honorable Chitutu ever since this came up. Of course, the initial understanding was that my request was different. I didn't ask for Karamoja sheets. I was only presenting an omission of a school that has been without a roof for 23 years. It was hurting to me for a government school to be without a roof for 23 years. So, and talking to Honorable Chitutu was by coincidence. By coincidence, it happened that we had a joint activity. Then I said, why don't I talk to her about it? And interestingly, beyond those joint activities, because my ministry has a lot of activities in Karamoja. That was only one of them. But it so happens that was my first time to meet Honorable Chitutu face to face at such a level. It was my first time. So, I want to make it clear that there was no predetermined maneuver to divert any sheets from intended for Karamoja to go to another area. I was only trying to perform a representative mandate as a member of parliament to speak for that school. And I thought that she would help me to relay the information. And actually, my discussion with her was even for less than a minute. She quickly said, no, send your PA to my PA, they'll sort it out. Yeah, so then there are some specific questions that I want to answer. Honorable, you said, ordinarily it is the Chief Administrative Officer to put such requests. Yes, it is true. And as I said in my submission, my attempt to intervene arose out of a communication from the CAO to Office of the Prime Minister, but which communication omitted some victims. And then you said, why didn't I direct this omission to the Minister for Disaster Preparedness? And I've explained it. I only used that opportunity. And it wasn't anything beyond that. Then about the missing school, you wanted to know whether it was missing from the letter written by the cow to OPM or only from the river note. It was missing from the letter of the Chief Administrative Officer. And that's why I got concerned and tried to speak for that school. But I must say that I do recognize that there was an omission on my part. I should have written a letter to the OPM to say we omitted this. So that one, I concur that it was an omission on my part. Then the number of ansheets. The number of answers was 300, as I said. When I talked to the minister, I did not indicate the number of ansheets. However, when I sent my PA to the PA, I indicated the number. And even in the letter that he wrote, in the heading, he said request for 300 ansheets. So the number is indicated even in my request. Then Honorable David gave a summary of what I said, that the PA received a call from Abajo, that the letter from the PS, which was asking for accountability, he was wondering, because the issue is that the answers were from Karamoja Affairs, but PS was asking me to account. It also confused me, because at that point I said, maybe this is from the General Administration of OPM when I received this. And indeed, I responded. And then the clarification about the letter from PS to COW, whether it was in response to a request from COW. The letter does not refer to a request. And I don't have any other information beyond that, because the letter only says that the Office of the Prime Minister implements affirmative action interventions in the Soga sub-region. And then that was the background. And that was part of that intervention, the 800 ansheets. Then the last one is Honorable Ezama wanted me to clarify who distributed the ansheets. Yes, I distributed the ansheets. And I have the accountability, which I've tabled. And the reason is I received them, so I had to distribute them. Thank you.
Yes? Okay. You use the mic.
Honorable Chair, a question that I was following chronologically, and I discovered this one is not attended to. How were the iron sheets sent to the district before the beneficiaries were identified? So there are two things here: the sending and then the identification of the beneficiaries. Thank you.
The 800 earn sheets, they've not yet been sent. A letter was sent in advance so that the beneficiaries can be identified, sent to the OPM before the earn sheets are sent to the district. So they've not yet. That was about the 800. About the 300, I explained, I said, okay, if it's about the 800,
Was
then
delivered.
they've not yet been sent to the district. Yes.
Where are they? The 800 given by OPM.
They only informed us that our district has been allocated.
Yes.
Chair and honorable members, the 800 iron sheets are under the docket of Busoga. They have just received them as OPM, but when these, because of the investigation, they cannot give them out. Otherwise, they are there in the store under Luero Rwenzori, Busoga.
Okay. Okay. Honorable Albert?
Madam Chair, the Honorable Minister has omitted. I said, now that the information is very clear, that the 300 iron sheets allocated to him were meant to be for Karamoja. And I said, having consented from his presentation, what is your take, Honorable Minister? Because it is unlawful for you as a minister to take the iron sheets which do not belong to your docket.
Thank you.
Honorable Chair, as I indicated, at no point was it put to me that I'm receiving sheets from Karamoja. And as I've explained repeatedly, I was trying to follow up on a request for general administration.
For the Minister,
yes.
The question is,
yes.
Now that you are aware, the iron seats given to you belong to Karamoja sub-region. What is your position now?
My position is that really I feel used. Okay. I feel used. If the person who was giving out was clear to me, I would have said, no, I don't need to divert resources for another purpose. I feel used. And unfortunately, we have already taken these sheets to, again, vulnerable people. We cannot go back and retrieve them. We can't. It would be really bad. So I feel bad. Unfortunately, I can't retrieve these sheets from honourable members. You are members of parliament, you know. You have a school in your constituency that has been without a roof for 23 years. You deliver sheets to it. But later on, you discover that allocation to you was done in a wrong way. And moreover, you didn't know that was being done. You are not part, you did not connive.
Are you willing to behave like others to go and procure something of the equivalent and give back to that region?
Honorable Chair, I would be willing. Because I've even used my resources to support similar schools. In my constituency, there is a school called Naiviri Primary School, which lost a roof. I had to buy iron sheets to roof it. There is another school called Namungarwe Primary School. I had to do the same. So I would be willing, really. I would be willing either to buy or to to bring money, but not to withdraw iron sheets from such a school in such their need.
Okay, but then let's have the record right. Your district or yourself, in one way or the other, received iron seats in 3 phases. There was that of 348, where each school got 116 iron seats. The second one is the 300. Then the third one is where you have gotten the letter, but they have not yet been delivered. So can we conclude that the 300 belongs to Karamoja sub-region, inclusive of the 348, or the 348 belongs to OPM?
Chair, as I told you, Mia, I don't know the details. However, the 348
yes,
were a response to the cow's letter of the PS Office of the Prime Minister.
Who wrote the letter?
The Chief Administrative Officer.
No.
Yes.
Was it the accounting officer who responded to the cow's letter?
Yes.
Okay. So, honorable members, the issue in question is the 300 iron seats. Let's have the record right. Yes?
It is very unfortunate that Minister Kitutu is not here. She would have actually clarified a number of things. One of which, because in the minister's word, he said he appealed to her, and maybe for her to amplify. Could be within the ministry, she would have been able to tell us that when she got to the ministry, probably she contacted disaster, and the iron sheet were got from there. And this is what we don't know.
Yes, but as I said, we gave her invites. Our CID, you do your work. We want you to hear. We have been calm and patient, but I think we really need her here. Honorable Minister Kitutu, this is the 3rd meeting. She's standing down. Yes, she requested for off camera, and we have been following. Even this morning, I've been following. Can we find a way of getting Honorable Minister here so that we conclude these matters? These are colleagues, and she was the one who gave the iron seats. She needed to be here. We need Honorable Kitutu here. Honorable colleagues, we have taken really enough time on one person and so early. Now that we have received the documents, our technical team and the colleagues, let us do the analysis of the submission given by our colleague, Honorable Mwino. At this point, Honorable Mwino, we are relieving you. In case of any other thing, we shall be in touch. Can we go to Honorable Jennifer?
Madam Chair, something small. As we move to a logical conclusion of this popular issue, there is a need for some form of a time frame.
Time frame?
A time frame. Now that the Honorable Minister has said he has been used, but is ready to do anything, because the iron sheets, we are not meant.
We are not going to tell any person what to do.
Yeah.
If the person wants to return, that should come voluntarily from that person. But as a committee, it is not within the terms of reference given to us. That's why we are operating within our limits. Can we have Jennifer or Honorable Esther?
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Can we have Anyakun Esther?
Thank you, Chair.
Yes, you can take a leave. Yeah.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you too, Honorable.
I want to thank the members.
Honorable Minister Anyakun, you have given us something. How many copies?
I've given the all 25 copies for the committee and 2 for the chairpersons.
Members, I have mine she has given me. Give to colleagues before she starts her presentation. You.
Can I seek a clarification from you, Madam Chair? I received the invitation last evening, and I didn't have time to do something in writing formally. But in any case, I said let me go, because if I didn't come, it would be a.
But you have something to present? You don't have items signed. You have your relevant documents?
Yes, I do, but they are not comprehensive.
Okay, as we receive from your colleagues, you can just go and do something and come.
Thank you, Chair. I think the members have.
Senior, is that okay?
That means it's going back to the office.
And the office is so near.
Yeah, but typing it and what, I don't have even a secretary now. I don't know. Can I ask you for a compromise that I can submit orally?
Yes.
And then I go back and then I put it back in black and white.
Okay,
Is that okay?
that is fine.
Well,
That is fine, but at least you have seen the queue.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Let's have Honorable Esther. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, and colleagues, members of Parliament.
But before you proceed, your list is on the beneficiaries of last year, not this year. Therefore, it means it doesn't belong to the supplementary budget. It is for the team.
No, they're both.
Yes, for Karamoja, but for the regular budget, not the supplementary.
Okay, so I don't talk about the supplementary.
You can.
Okay, I got it.
But it's on board.
I have both.
Okay. So, collective notes is on board.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Esther Anyakun. I'm the Woman Member of Parliament for Nakapiripiti District and also the State Minister for Relief, Disaster Preparedness and Refugees, Office of the Prime Minister. I received a letter, I think 2 days ago, and I've given my submissions to all the members. Chair, I will start with the regular budget, because that one I received it, according to the delivery note, received the iron sheets in June 2022. Previously, members of Parliament from Karamoja have been receiving iron sheets from all of our affirmative action ministries, right away from the First Lady, from Honorable Byabagambe, and to the current minister. So in June, I was given iron sheets, and they were received by the sub-county committee-based CDO of the sub-county of Namalu, according to the delivery note. And I directed on phone which beneficiaries can receive those iron sheets, since I had a prerogative to do the distribution. So on one of them, I'm showing you a copy of an acknowledgement letter from a church in my neighboring district, that's the Blatuk district. I donated to them 80 iron sheets. That was in August 2022. And then the rest of the iron sheets I gave to vulnerable people, around 8 of them, which I have not put here as an accountability. Because those people picked the iron sheets and they are there in the constituency. Lobongore Andrew received 30 pieces. Losike, somebody called Losike Eric got 30. Sagal got 20. Uriema got 20. Lote got 30. Lowar got 30. Mama Susan got 30. And someone called Mama Ichom got 20, to make a total of 300 iron sheets. Right Honorable, I did not give that accountability of the 8 people, because we have been giving these iron sheets as Karamoja members of Parliament to people according to our mandate. But an example of that accountability was this one from the church, so that it's true. The sub-county received them, and they were given out to the people of Nakapiripiti district. There were only 8 beneficiaries that received from that, plus the 80 given to the church, which I have given an example here. Right Honorable, I want to proceed to the 39 billion. The number, they got, the Lobongore got 30, Losike got 30, Sagal got 20, Iriama got 30, Toto Aloyang got 30, Lowar got 30, Mama Susan got 30, and Mama Ichom got 20, to make 220 iron sheets. So, yes, ma'am. So when you put the 220 plus the 80 on this acknowledgement letter, it comes to 80 iron sheets. 300 iron sheets that we give out. And this, madam, we have been getting, even when I was in this committee, I used to get iron sheets from Karamoja Affairs. Like in 10th Parliament, I got around 4,000 iron sheets, I think, minimum. But we gave them out to the people of Karamoja without asking for accountability. Chair, on the issue of the 39 billion, we had a meeting with the Prime Minister as members of Parliament from Karamoja, and my colleagues, members of Parliament, are here. And a consensus was brought in the meeting by the members of Parliament of Karamoja and the Prime Minister and Minister for Karamoja Affairs that some iron sheets should be given to the members of Parliament and LC5s of Karamoja. In this letter that I received from the committee, they have asked me the circumstances. So that is one of them, that there was a meeting that we had as members of Parliament from Karamoja, that part of the iron sheets procured from the 39 billion shillings should be given to the leaders, that is the members of Parliament and the LC5s. Now, when you look at my letter that I've written to you, I have attached around 3 documents. The first document I have attached was the allocation letter and beneficiary list. When we were, after the meeting with the Prime Minister, we were told to identify the beneficiaries. So when we identified the beneficiaries, they were sent to the office of the Prime Minister, we as political leaders, and each member of Parliament from Karamoja submitted a list to OPM to receive the iron sheets. So I delivered mine. So the accounting officer of the office of the Prime Minister wrote now the allocation letter and the list of the beneficiaries that were identified to be who are meant to receive the iron sheets. That letter was sent to the cow. I think you can see it's attached immediately after my letter. That letter is from the accounting officer. Under it has the list of all the beneficiaries. And I was allocated, like a Kapipit was allocated, according to this letter, 11,500 iron sheets. But it is very stipulated here that the 5,000 in the second paragraph are for the woman member of Parliament. So this letter was written to the cow. And then that was the 1st of November, I think. Yes, the 1st of November. Chair, on the 23rd of December, according to the letter after that, of December, the Undersecretary, who is called Mr. Masagasi Deogracias, requested for the 5,000 iron sheets, which were meant to be mine. And Chair, in the third question that you asked is how they found themselves to Nakapriprit. The iron sheets were transported by the office of the Prime Minister with our trucks. The Undersecretary, just after the list. Undersecretary. Undersecretary. The cow did not request, it was just an allocation from OPM by the accounting officer. Yes. Following our meeting with the Prime Minister. You get what? So after I was allocated, I was informed that I have 5,000 iron sheets, and I was called. I remember that day I was even in Katakwi when the president, on the 29th of December, I was called by one of the drivers that, Madam, we are now in Nakapribit, we are delivering your iron sheets. And I told them to tell the cow, to call the cow. But because the cow was in for his Christmas holiday, he asked them to deliver the iron sheets at OPM stores in Amale prisons. We have another bigger store there where the maize has been. So they were stored there, and the last documents, according to this attachment, are the delivery notes to show how I transported the how they were delivered. So the last document you can see is the delivery notes of the 5,000 iron sheets. It shows the number of the iron sheets taken there and the vehicle that took them there. It was the Office of the Prime Minister's vehicles. And then the UJ, the numbers are there, and they are all delivered to Nakapribit district. So according to the three questions, the circumstances, the actual number, and the final destination is here. But then the distribution, I've given the clerk the same accountability that my cow delivered here. Because after the distribution, they were able to bring accountability here to show the number of people who received vis-a-vis.
The one for the 5,000, the one written by the Graces. Are you seeing the internal memo? 250 vulnerable households to benefit from the 5,000.
Yes, it's for the 5,000.
Okay.
Mm.
Who determined the 250?
Beneficiaries.
Mm.
Actually,
it was yours.
Yes, so when I was given chair, I was allocated the 5,000 iron sheets according to the letter from the accounting officer. First of all, we have been having insurgencies in the region. During the current disarmament exercise, there were only 2 guns recovered in my district. And then I said, since there was a list already prepared by the committee in the district, and I'm given these 5,000 iron sheets, chair, I determined how the iron sheets should be distributed. I have 208 villages in the district. And I thought, because we have been talking about issues of nomadism by the Karamojongs, I thought by picking at least 1 or 2 beneficiaries from each of my villages, it would make a change. 1, to develop the area. 2, to also make sure that these people stop shifting, because I've seen them not shifting where there is a semi-permanent home with a mabati. They will not shift. So for me, I was looking at how I can improve the livelihoods of the people and also how to develop the people of Nakapribit to show that they're able to have, they're able to build their houses in their manyatas. So that's why I got, instead of giving a few individuals, I got to 250. I asked for the 250 individuals to be given each 20 iron sheets, at least to be distributed in the entire district.
Do we have that list of the 250?
Yes, ma'am. The list is with you, the allocation list of all the 250, and then the clerk has the accountability of the 250 beneficiaries.